First of all, I would like to thank you all for attendance because this is the last session, and I know that you are busy wherever you are worldwide. So, and thank you for all the organizers for doing this really great activities to support Ukraine in these hard times. I wish everything great, health, security for all of you guys, and let's hope definitely for the best so we could meet next year in person and share the knowledge face to face. So let me speak about this presentation. Actually, it's not about speaking about all the features actually that included since Java 9 until 16 or 17 or 18 or what's upcoming in 19. It's always the most touchable features that we need to be aware of to make our development life easier, and also based on the code reviews, based on the people that I'm consulting or working with, or sometimes they are using just GDK as a GDK. For example, like there is a recent project I was working with some guys, and I found that they are using Java 17. So it was like really nice. They are modernizing their application and everything. But finally, when I review the code, actually I found it's Java 8. They're just using the feature from Java 8, but just making use of the newer GDK. Definitely, they will get some enhancement and performance hits, but they doesn't use the full GDK as a language API and Java features. So we will speak about this. So this is why I want to just touch most of the common things, but you are welcome to ask. And at the end, I would share also, I write about those kind of features deeply on Java Magazine, as Katrina mentioned before. And I will share with you the link so you can read more and see how the features, not just the main JIP, which is Java Enhancement Proposal, that target that everyone knows about. No, we dig deep to bring you what has been added and what has been removed. And this is very important. So I will not continue sharing my information. Just my name is Mohamed Taman, and I frequently write for some those magazines, and those are some of my publication. You can get me easily through everything, but just write my name on Google and you will find all the links. You are welcome to join me, and all my projects or my articles code on my GitHub account. So it's public, you can access, you can fork it, do whatever you like. It's open for you guys. And it's always updated to the latest Java version to show you how you can use, and updated not just GDK, as I told you, is with the features. So I will touch some topics quickly because about Java history, we were so slow in introducing Java every 2, 3, 4 years, and about the 6 release cadence, which is speed up the Java innovation. And also, it's not about just bring Java to the community after each 6 months. It's about collecting feedback, take your opinion because you are the user of the Java, and also try out feet. You can easily and earlier try out features, and this is very important for us as to get the feedback. So you will see how we get benefit from the feedback in order to develop more and more enhanced code and features for you based on your request. So this is definitely, now we have Java 19 will come this month on 20th of September. So which is with a big change, project Loom virtual threads, and there is a lot of effort has been done since Java 9 until Java 19 in order to bring this feature alongside with some other features that as a language, as enhancement in the language. But the biggest features coming in Java 19 is the virtual thread. So what is the big change? I know that most of you and all of you actually know about the modularization and hear about it, but why I have to mention some stuff here that we already spoke about a long time. There is a bunch of articles written about this because there is still confusion from people migrating to new versions. So they always says that, yeah, we can't migrate because easily we have to change to module system, which is not correct because we still have both. You can use normal traditional class path and use your Java. And if you are developing for some certain cases like libraries or APIs or want a shareable component or something, and you want it to be modularized, you can use modularization for this purpose. So it doesn't require to migrate to new Java version to be fully modularized. And to make your code upgraded to modules and start using it, spend too much time for this. No, you don't have to do this. So the modularization came based on the project Jigsaw. So we always, when there is a big change in the language, it's come under some project like Project Amber, Project Loom, Project, Valhalla, Project Jigsaw as of this one. So the module it's a higher level first class citizen packaging for Java now, if you would like to say. It's not package anymore. So modules bundle together one or more packages and offer stronger encapsulation than jars, and the most importantly, that allow us to scale down runtime jars that applicable and suitable for IoT microservices embedded systems and cloud computers, as we are now in the cloud era. So stronger, yes, because public is no longer public anymore. So if you have a public class and you are not exposed to be accessed outside, it will not be accessed. It's only be accessible within the package it's inside. And this is very important. So it really brings stronger encapsulation. It will not be exposed unless you specify it implicitly in the module-info.java file. So whenever there is something that you can read more in details, all these kind of like blue text is actually links. So it will open a new article, as you can see here, the hover, and it will, this is article I wrote, or people wrote some articles, so you can deep dive to read about more modules, module types, and all of this kind of stuff. So what was the main project goal is just first to modularize JDK, and this statically happens in JDK 8. As you can see, if you are reading the Java documentation, you'll find that you have 3 profiles customized based on some APIs like compact profile 1, 2, 3. And it was static, so you cannot dynamically create your own packaging or Java runtime, but it was the introduction to the module system. Then modularize, definitely, if you would like to modular JDK, we need to modularize Java source code in order to allow the packages to be, the source code to be modules, and then it allows us to select specific modules from the JDK itself. Then allow us to create modularized Java runtime environment based on our code. So I will not have to have all the modules included, all the Java source code included with my application, which I don't use. This is reduce the size of your application. Lastly, encapsulate Java internal APIs. This is a big goal, and you will find deprecation and limitation happens in the consecutive JDKs, because we don't want the developers or outside people to touch internal classes meant for JVM or JDK development. So we can change and enhance easy and faster, so there is no more dependencies. Finally, Java platform module system that allow us as the developers to modularize our source code as well. So it's very, I think this is the summary about the project Jigsaw. If you would like to understand and deep dive, you can read more and more, and how also to create your modules. There is 2 parts of this. So, okay, imagine that you would like to move to a module system. So how can I detect my application, what will use, what is internal API that I shouldn't use, or what is deprecated? Because now since JDK 11, as you will see, we start to literally deprecate for removal, and we start to clean up the JDK. So we have with Java a command line with Java as option dash list modules dash list module that will allow you to see all the modules and the new modules inside your JDK version, and you can see the dependencies of your application. Assume that your application named app.jar you can run it with the option GDK internals, and it will show you with GDIPS dependencies option inside the GDK. So it will show you either you are internally depending on some critical API that you have to move forward to another one, and it will give you another alternatives if there are. So, and also if there is deprecation, so you can run JDEP scan tool on your application, and it will show you quickly what is your deprecated API and what is deprecated for future, in order to just avoid them and replace them on the go. So those are the tools. And for migration and difficulties that and pitfalls for migration from Java 8 to 9 plus, you can find a very nice article here. I think, yeah, it's written by me, but there is a lot of links to some great folks also mentioned in this as a sources. So let's move. I told you about the release cadence and LTS. So the new norm here, I just wanted to say that we start to develop and introduce LTS every 2 years, not 3 years. So you expect this is to speed up the companies to adopt for new Java versions and rely on, because most of the company would like to rely on long-term support version rather than the feature versions that introduced each 6 months, and the support ends once the new version came up. So as I mentioned before, as if you remember, like a few minutes ago, Java SE 11 really is the first cleaner for the Java jungle, because we always just deprecate, and we have to maintain the background compatibility, which this is something that slows down Java development. But if you see the other languages, definitely everyone removes. If you are migrating from .NET version framework to framework, you will find some errors and classes not found and things. Yes, this is a cleanup, but it came on the price of you have to know what has been removed and what has been introduced as alternative, but it will speed up the process and the development and the enhancement in the new Java or .NET or Python or whatever the languages is. So we have to cope with this. So we are successfully doing this, but also whenever we deprecate, we remove after 2 versions. So we give you time to learn, and we give you time to know what is the alternative APIs you should use and when exactly it will be removed. So you know that from long time, Oracle decided to license Java starting from Java 8, but there is a bunch of vendors that still give, and even Oracle nowadays give you the opportunity to use Java and the OpenJDK, you have it. Or if you prefer, you can have different vendors, like you have Amazon Corito, you have Microsoft, they have their own JDK for free and supported. And if you need support, you can contact Oracle, you can contact Zulu, there is a bunch of vendors that provide implementation and development for JDK stream mainlines. You can read in this article, Java still free, how it's still free, and where is the vendors that you can make use of. So let's just touch something very important, because in Java 11, 10, and 10 and 11, 10, 9, actually we were just trying to introduce new features, APIs, and then since Java 12, we start to introduce something called preview language feature. We have incubator APIs that seem like preview language feature, just for your preview and to make you aware of what's coming up, but it's on your own risk if you'd like to use it, because there is a flag to enable it. And this flag is -- enable preview. And you can do it in production or whatever, and in your IDE or in Maven. There is a lot of options that will enable for you this, and through the testing also. Then you can make use of the features, and to make it easy in the future to just migrate, or if there is a change or the new enhancement and updates for this preview features. So this is something that you have to know aware of. This was like general introduction about what we would like to know about it, and let's now review our agenda. So we were gonna see what's new in this journey from 9 to 16, 17, and 18. And if I have time, I will give you quick overview about 19. We will see about language features. We will see about the most improved APIs. And definitely, as I told you, we need to know what's APIs importantly that has been gone forever. And let's deep dive. First, there is no more GRE, as you know, because why? If you follow me from 2 minutes ago, I said because we have now modularized system, and we use a tool that allow us to create our custom GRE. Your application doesn't have to be modularized. It's normal Java application, and you can use JLink Java tool that you can find under bin folder. And this tool literally purpose is that we have an application, we run JLink with some options, and against our application, and this JLink tool will analyze our application. It will see which modules has been used and which transitive modules that used by some other modules. So you have complete graph, and then it will create a custom modular runtime image just enough with the tool that allow only to run your application with the only just enough dependencies that your application require. This definitely will allow you to create applications for IoT, for embedded systems, for cloud indeed, and it's faster deployment, faster migration, and also, reduced size for your containerization images. This is very important. So there is also, like, for us, before students, we would like to learn about the Java features, and we would like to test something quickly. And before OpenID, and you have to write Java public static void main inside the class, and you run it and you compile it and do all of this. Why not to have interactive API? About this JShell, so we have it. Most of you know about it, but I would like to mention it because it's really great tool. You just type expressions and statement, and it's run. You don't have to have a semicolon, as you can see. You don't have to have anything, and it's a really great learning tool and evaluation for the new features on the quick from the command line. And also it works with all the preview features. Just run JShell with -- enable preview, and it will allow you to use all the preview features. Another one is just all days, if you would like to compile a class. We normally have a class like this, and you have written like hello Java, the green, this heart for you, Ukrainian guys, because it's always my heart with you and all of you and your families and everything. And we should compile it to have the class file, and then we run the class file using. So we use two steps here, like Java C, and then run with Java interpreter, and you will see the output. So we have said, like, okay, if I have a class and I would like to evaluate it immediately, so what can I do? Can I run Java with Java? Yes, I can do this. Since Java 11, I have a new feature that called Launch Single File Source Code Program, and literally it's really amazing. So you have the source code that we have introduced before, so you can run Java like this immediately without compilation. But there is some restrictions because it's in-memory compilation. It should be one single source of file from the name of the JIP, so you have to understand this. And also you can have internal dependencies based on the JDK module, not external jars or something. So it has limited capability, but it's very nice to have it. And with a great feature I will show you later, you can just run as a bash command. Look how, I will show you. But remember this feature. So it will allow in-memory compilation, and just it will work immediately without compilation. If you run it, you will never find compiled file and then it will be deleted like as a something happening behind the scene. No, it's in-memory compilation. So let's see some new features. So the var type has been introduced since Java 10, and it's synthetic sugar actually for your Java language to write. And finally, when it's turned to be bytecode, it will be inferring the data type from the right-hand side, and it will put it. So there is no such more magic, but finally, it's out there as any other languages. So we have used it, and we can use it for bigger declaration of file names or list of type and or maps or something. So there is bigger declarations. We don't have to have it if the left-hand side can infer the type from the right-hand side. So there is an article about this. So there is enhancement for the local variables also here in Java 11 for Lambda. So why? Because in Lambda, you know that you can either state the type or you can remove the type and it will be inferred. But we have a problem and we can write it like this. So I can see this is redundant because why have to write var? I can remove it and just AB or just state directly the data type. But in some cases, which is when we use annotations, annotation do need declaration for the type. So in this case, we can make it simpler using var. So this is why we have enhanced var for annotation to be used with Lambda. Another, the feature is related to the feature that I told you, run Java with Java. So how can I run Java application as a literally bash file? So let's imagine that we have a file like this. This is really valid source code. I have to have the line that started with shebang notation /user/bin/java and --source 11 and above. You have to write this in your Java source file. Then normally the remaining is normal valid Java source code. And here also you can pay attention to the class name. The class name is directory lister, and we have public static void main. I just list the current directory, files and folders, and just for demo purpose. So let's see how to run it. First, I will save the file in a file named dir list. Oh, but you are violating one of the rules of the Java that the file name should be the same name of the class. No, you don't have to do this. And name it even without .java, it doesn't matter, just without any extension. And make it executable. So we will execute change mode +X on that file. And finally, just press / and the file name, and it will work. What happens? What happens here is that the shebang, it will call the Java source code 11 and start to run the application as a single source file in memory, and this is how it runs. So you can literally take this file, put it in your bin folder as a private or public, and you can just call it from the command line, so you don't have to learn bash in order to do some programming. I use this feature heavily when I would like to do black box testing for my services running in some certain environment, because I can call REST APIs and WebSockets using JDK, the new JDK modules we are going to talk about, which is JDK internal net, the new .NET module. I will show it to you. And just, I don't need any external libraries, and I can make calls to my services and make sure that everything runs successfully, and that's it. But it's in Java. I don't have to learn literally different language or command like bash or whatever it is. So this is, I see it's a really great feature. So this is the second I told you about. Now the evolution of HTTP client and WebSocket, we have a complete module with the enhancement and support even HTTP 2. So it's introduced since Java 9. It was incubator, all incubators APIs, not the language preview. It's totally different because the language is just for the JVM and the Java language, and the incubators is for the API itself. So it was part of JDK.incubator module, then the package name referring to the feature that we are using, like HTTP client. So another enhancement happened in JDK 10, and there is no feedback. Everything is great. People agreed on. Then we decided to bring it to the production. So it goes in different. It's like I'm graduating now and graduating to go for production. So I will go from incubation to my own module name, which is java.net.http, and you can just use it as a standalone module. And this API is high level, and you can interact with HTTP version 1.1 and 2 with all the security proxy configurations. There is HTTP client, HTTP request and response, and WebSocket, and that's it. Then everything's created. Let's take an example. If I would like to have a client module, you can see like I can create HTTP client module. I can make a request with HTTP request, passing the using those. Then the client, I say, hey client, send a synchronous call request and the return type of string, and I'm expecting HTTP response, and they want like to the body, and whatever you get in the body, just print it out and join, because I wanted to wait until the response comes joining the current thread. So you have sync and asynchronous calls, and you can read about it in deep details with all the features in this article. So what about WebSocket? Same. You just develop the listener that you would like for all the methods related to WebSocket, like on open, on close, on text, on all these four listener methods, and just normally create a WebSocket client using HTTP client, giving the URI and giving the echo listener that you have developed with some executor, and this executor is configured to run how many threads would you like, and then just at the end you close the connection, and that's it. It's very simple, high level, and really performant. So you don't have to rely on third party now API in order to just make use of all the HTTP, normal HTTP, REST API, and WebSocket communication. So one big enhancement to one of the annoying, to be honest, in the language that has been inherited actually as a syntax from C++. So which is switch statement, and there is still enhancement that is going on the switch statement with pattern matching, because first we need to enhance the switch statement and and introduce switch expressions. So when this happened, it introduced to you the main structure of the switch and how we can use it as a statement and as expression. Right after that, how we can simplify the case part to use pattern matching to match many cases, either using sealed classes or using normal inheritance, or using guarded patterns using Java 19, and so on and so on and so on. So the first enhancement, if you just would like to return normal Roman character, in normal case, you have to break after each one. If you don't, fail through problem, just forget about one break and you will debug and cut your hair, because you are debugging and oh my god, I didn't put a break here. And see, it's lengthy. It's so lengthy. So new switch statement in Java enable. So this is how I run G shell with dash enable preview, because it was at that time preview feature. So I can just use arrow token, and they can be assigned. But we see also like why. And then this is a statement, and there is no problem in this. Okay, this is a statement, and we have declaration for Roman value, and I'm reassigning to the value and returning the value. And then it says like, okay, if this is the main purpose of returning the value, why we not use a switch as a statement and directly return the value without assignment? So it's literally enhanced to be used as assignment or return type directly. So you just say return switch, you give the value, and then after the token, it meant to be as a return value, and that's it. And then you have the default normally. And we also said like, okay, sometimes, you have introducing multiple cases like this. If it's order number, so case 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, do this. If it's case 1, do this. It's case odd, even, just break, and do if 0, it's 0. So this is also lengthy, and it uses break. So it's enhanced to be comma separated cases, so we can do this. And you can see that I'm also use the assignment back to the var kind. So this is really switch statement used with return inside the method, or as a statement, as you can see here, as an assignment directly to some specific variable. So this is what's called switch statement. And also, there is a big, article about this. So, do you remember what I told you about the preview features? Because it was odd to use something like, sometimes we can use break to return a feature. So something like this. Imagine that you would like to write something, so you can say, okay, I would like to return it 0, odd, or even, and then I can say, okay, if it's 1, if it's 0, break 0. But you see, it sounds odd, it sounds ugly. Like, what is to break the code? It generates value. So based on the feedback of the community, it's literally, we have to reintroduce it using yield. So if you are using Java 12 using break and then migrate it to Java 13 and start to use break, it will give you warning, it's not used anymore. Then you have to switch to yield. So this is the great about preview features. It depends on the community feedback and experts as well. So we are taking your opinion into account. So this is a great, literally. And by the way, in Java 14, switch expressions is standardized and become production. So you don't have to use preview features anymore. One of the best great feature that I loved, which is also one of them, text block. It has a very big history, and there is many JIPs to develop this. And finally, this old ugly plus and assignment and this kind of alignment, now you just can write it like this, 3 ellipses at the beginning. You write the code as what you want. The spaces will be considered as an alignment, and it's cleanly very readable. To be honest, I use it many times inside the GPA. Either I'm using Spring query annotation to write the SQL statement inside it, which is GPQL. So I'm just using text block to reformat it correctly without introduction to any kind of pluses or a new line and everything. So it's really great feature. Or if I'm using Swagger to write documentation, so I use it when it's lengthy a little bit and need some formatting and some readability. So you can use it because it's a string. So pattern matching, because of instance of this, is one of the great features that we have in Java 14 and 15, which simplify the testing of the instance of the type of the object. So you have to say object, if it's instance of string, we have to do casting. And then based on the casting, you do the use of the casted variable. And we found okay, this is odd and verbose, so let's reduce it. So now you can use since Java 14. If object instance of string and this evaluated true, it will cast and assign instance of that object into str as a variable. And then directly you can use, without casting, str the data. And also you can also do something like this more complex. If you want to test, and also you have another guarded pattern to say, okay, if it's string, assign it to string, and also if this is string length greater than 5 or some conditions, do something. It's not just only that check about the type, it's also an operation over the casted type that it's called guarded pattern. And we use this enhancement inside switch cases, the new enhancement in Java 18 and 19 is coming up. So this is a great simplification for pattern matching, also a line to be used with switch statements. And records. Records were introduced as a immutable data type. I use it a lot in some certain cases nowadays when I develop REST APIs and I would like to introduce DTOs or BUJOs, that immutable data types that can hold client requests and it shouldn't change it after that, or returning a specific view of the data to the client. I'm completely using records and using some libraries like Mabstract to convert from entities in the service side into the records. And Mabstract lovably understand records. So it's very nice because you don't have to expose your entity beans to the REST API because it would be cultured. You need some annotations for customizing either it's XML or either it's JSON. So the GPA entity, it will do a lot of functionality rather than being related to the data or domain model. So, and also sometimes there is a lot of fields you don't need to expose it and secure it, which is you have to hide it. Why I have to culture my class with things that confuse the joining developers. So use record because it works with, you can use any annotations and validation API with it, everything. So it's a great simplified. So previously, if we would like just to introduce a class like this, just to hold X and Y value and to be immutable, you have the hash code, you have toString, and all of this kind of implementation. Just with record, you can declare it like this. And all of those implementation will be done for you, like toString and like toString hash code and equal will be implemented for you because it's immutable. And it just created and initiated when you create the record because it's immutable. So you will not find setters, you will find only getters, and without the norm of get value, it will be .x and .y, and that's it. One helpful feature is also that I like, which is helpful null pointer exception explanation about the problem. So previously, if you have something like this, you will find an a dot a as an object, dot I as a field or something, then equal 99, then you could find an exception in main, Java null pointer exception, a program have something. This is very easy to debug. Like I can expect that, yeah, A could be null because there is a null here. But what if we have something like this, A dot B dot C dot I, which one it is? With this feature, when we enable it, with the JVM, you will get this. I cannot null pointer exception because I can't read field C because A dot B is null. So you know that B is null and then C cannot be read because of this. So you have, and which line? So you have more descriptive, messages for debugging, especially for null pointer exceptions. And let's talk about sealed classes. Sealed classes allow you to actually the author of the class or interface to control which code is responsible for implementing it and preventing the others. You don't have to play anymore with access modifiers because it have restrictions. But in this case, you just say who is going to implement what with the specific specifications. And if you'd like to open extension for some specific people, you can declare it and you can say it. So if we have here class shape, I can say, okay, my class shape is a sealed, nobody can touch it except circle, rectangle, and square. And circle should only extend shape, so compiler will not complain, and it's final, no problem. And also I said, the class rectangle, I want rectangle to be sealed and only could be and extend shape, no problem. But because I wanted to be allowed to be implemented using transparent rectangle and filled rectangle. Transparent rectangle, it's final class, so it's not allowed to be extended anymore. And also the filled rectangle, it's not allowed to be extended anymore. But at the final case, I said, okay, I will allow class square that extend, take all the features and requirement from shape, but I can just let it for the developers or anyone else to add their shape of the square differently, filled, non-filled, transparent, whatever you like, you can do it because it's a non-sealed. So it's allowed to be extended by any other classes. There is no specific permission for that. So definitely, because they are same like enums, they have limited, hierarchy, and we know which classes could actually extend which interface or class. This is also included in the cases as a check of the type with switch cases because we have finite definitions, so it's not open. And if it's open like this with square, you can have the default case. So new language API. Now, those all the mainly features and all the in 17, 16, 17, and 18 is always enhancement specifically. Enhancement and bug fixing for switch with pattern matching. 17 is there is a bug fix about pattern matching with sealed classes, and 18 introducing the guarded types with pattern matching of the extended types. So this is what's new with switch in these new features. There is no more features, but I will give you some. Let's see the most effective API. Let me see what's this time. Okay, we are almost close to. So we in string, we have repeat methods. So if you'd like to repeat something, you don't have to have a for loop. You say, okay, repeat no, and trim and concatenate at the end Batman. So if you'd like to say no, Batman, so you can do it like this. It's very easy. You can see that I'm using G shell. So we use is blank. Is blank is asking about the emptiness of the string. So instead of having, so imagine that you have blank and you would like to test about the emptiness, you have to trim it first, then check the length. So it says true. Similar is using just direct is blank. We have stripe, leading stripe, trailing stripe. It's literally similar to trim. But what is the difference? Why you have developing new methods while they are doing the same thing? Yes, they are doing the same thing with only one regard and consideration. Trim only work with ASCII characters. So if there is Unicode characters like /U 2005, which represent a space in Unicode, trim will not understand it, and it will print it as a space. It will be printed normally. So you can see at the second line, the trim doesn't trim it because it doesn't understand it. But if you use stripe, it will trim it. It understands Unicode. So if you're reading files or doing something with ASCII, you can use both and trim, no problem. But if you are using some multinational character like Arabic, Hebrew, Chinese, or something with some spaces you would like to trim it, just use stripe and put it in your mind. We have lines, and this is also if you have some string with new lines or something like this, you don't have to check, just says, okay, dot lines, and then print it. It will detect the lines and it will print it for you immediately. We have indent, and this is came since text block, so it's also a method. So you can chain indent. So indent 5 minus 3 means finally indent just for 3. And dot lines, and then for each, you will see that there is only 3 indentation that has been happened. We have transform, and transform take a function. So imagine that I have a text and I would like to make a transformation in any direction, and I can change direction, just transform. So it takes function. So first, please uppercase it and replace all the asterisks from the string and split it. Finally, you will get a string array that says text without some asterisks based on the transformation. Those are part of text formatting. What if I would like to format and also adding some values to my text? So you can have hello and then percentage S. Percentages need to be substituted like printf or something like this. You can have it with formatted method, and you give the what you would like to add. So to be hello world, hello whatever the data that you're going to provide. And similar to stripe indentation, if you'd like to stripe the indentation completely, you can use stripe indent. So text block, it was preview, and then we have translate escape. Sometimes I don't want, I want to make sure that some, it's not translated as escape character. I need literally to check about the character a new line, then I have to say translate escape characters to be considered as a character, and do the comparison. It's not just transferred as a new line and then it will say false. Compact. This is nice if you are developing some financial things or numerical, and you would like to reduce and make it compact. So 1K, 1 million, 1 billion based on the locale. So you can just number formatter and get compact number instance based on the locale and which version you would like to use, and format some numbers, and it will say 10K, 10 million, 100, whatever it is, and also based on the locale. So in US, it would be sometimes million, billions, it's a different from place to place. So it's taking care of this. So streams, we have added this method, which is teeing. Teeing allow you to add two collectors at the same time. So if I would like to make summation and also counting of this kind of stream to get the average, I can do this in one operation instead of just counting first, then summing all these ends, and then make the division to get the average of this. So I can do it using teeing. And now I can compare files binary based with using mismatch. So you can just compare two files binary, and once it finds the difference, it will return for you the first location of the change that has been found. If they are all equal, it will return a -1 if they are matching. So definitely, that since Java 13, all the APIs for networking, for telecommunication, for communication, for I/O, for anything related to threading, it has been re-implemented. So I don't have to mention all of them. There is a bunch of things has been implemented to be aligned to Project Loom virtual thread until Java literally 18. Everything has been done, and the GDK and all the APIs are ready for Project Loom to be introduced in Java 19. So this is why it takes a long time to introduce virtual thread. So we need to re-implement it's not just introduction to new threading module. No, it just need also to take care of all the API internally that make use of this new feature. But by the way, it doesn't mean that we are introducing Project Loom means that it's going to deprecate or remove completely the normal threading modules. No, both of them are there. There is a decision will be made to when to remove or how they can, if it's not used, because sometimes you need to use it. So they are both of them used, and there will be exist in Java 19. It's the same like class pass and module pass. Okay, about the security, we always GDK make sure that we implementing the latest features of the security and also deprecating. So you always under the security revision each release and each feature release, either LTS or feature release. But one of the most important part, improved container awareness. And this is very important because previously, if you would like to ask about if you're running Java application inside the container, which is Docker container, and you'd like to ask about memory or CPU, the query goes to the host, and the host is more capable than the just normal container is running, even if it has limited capacity. And this is make your application run out of memory or stuck, because it says, yeah, I have more memory, I can grow, then stuck, turned out of memory, because physically I don't have. But theoretically, I get the query that I have. So this is enhanced since Java 10 and JDK 8.230 something introduce this. So you can also attach remote debugger to Java process inside containers. So it's like, and it's working for Linux and Docker on Linux. And you can use some control for JVM, how many processor, memory percentage, RAM, initial, everything about your JVM inside the container. This is really nice. About the garbage collectors, there is a lot of enhancement in G1 GC because we have a bunch of collectors, and also Oracle allows that external companies like Red Hat and others to introduce their own garbage collector to cover all the cases that we can use Java application at. So in Java 9 we have more enhancement, and Java 10 we introduced parallel full GC, and in Java 11 GC is more faster by 60%. This is why I told you, when people migrate, get benefit of out of the box enhancement of GDK performance without even tweaking memory or CPUs or anything. But also you need to learn about the features and everything to make use of the full-fledged GDK. But by default, if you're migrating to 11 plus, you will get 60% faster performance than ever. So, and then Java 12 GC improved because this is the default one. So a lot of enhancement happens. There is a bunch of, other GCs for different cases has been introduced, as you can see. And there is one funny thing that Ellipsum GC does nothing, literally doesn't collect any memory, object from memory. So I can let this question for you, like why I could have something that doesn't function really as it should be. Because of the time, I'll answer you, because we need garbage collector for the JVM to function, but sometimes for embedded systems and critical system, I need to make sure that I'm using the right data types that doesn't grow and write memory, because it's limited resources. So I need a garbage collector that doesn't help me to collect, to make sure that I'm really using, and then I will tweak my application in order to reach the goal of the performance that I want. So this is why the purpose of the Ellipsum GC. So security improvement, definitely, as I told you, we are implementing TLS 1.3, DTLS security. Now this has been supported for that. And also in Java 15 introduced new algorithms for signature, removing a lot of stuff. And now let's talk about what we have to say goodbye. For things that we need to know, removed methods, threads. There is a lot of methods has been deprecated and removed from threading, and purpose of enhancement. Finalization has been destroyed since Java 17 and 18. And I will show you this. Removed enterprise APIs like Corba transaction, which is not even part, like XML binding, and this has been externalized to different libraries. Java EE module is not part of Java GDK, so has been removed. There is JavaFX has been removed completely, and it goes under some other libraries. And standalone, if you'd like to use it, you can use it using Maven dependencies like this. And also there is a lot of tools has been removed, and as you can see, there is another like alternatives that we can use. There is no more applets. There is no national engine, because we can use GraalVM and GraalJS, and this is why it's make it easy. We are cleaning and purpose to not confuse also, and maintenance. Important tools. This is the last thing. Important tools that I like for Java, GMH. GMS is a performance tool for APIs measurement. So it's not for making performance testing for the whole application, not like JMeter, not like this kind of. I'm testing about, so for example, I have security algorithm, and it could be implemented in different way, but I need to test the characteristics of each algorithm in different platform. And I would like to gather some information about those different implementation or database queries, or it's about micro benchmarking oriented practices that can steer implementation choices in code, not the whole system. It doesn't check about the memory, the threading. No, it's about the running of your algorithms in your system. This is very important, because sometimes people confused, and it's used internally by the GDK, but it's open sourced, so you can just download it and use it. So this is some examples that if you'd like to check it, and there is OpenJDK GMH tool, you can download it from there, and there is a great tutorial about it. And this is a just example. Another tool, just Visual VM, it's also open sourced. And this is really a great tool for profiling and integrating command line JDK tools, and very lightweight profiling capability. And it's designed for both development and production. And finally, flight recorder. This is very nice feature, has been added and also improved. Flight recorder is a low overhead data collection framework for GVM. So you can collect and make events based on what you have seen the code, and as based on the events happening that you are listening to and what's doing. Then flight recorder was just a commercial feature, by the way, of Oracle JDK binary, and prior to JDK 11, it has been open sourced to be used and inside OpenJDK source code. So it's built from OpenJDK, so it's open source. It's a great tool. So now we are reaching the end of the presentation. I would like to say thank you, but before I go, I would like to, I didn't mention Java 18, but I was speaking about it. But as you can see here, if you still see my screen, there is a Java magazine article here. It's called The Hidden Gems in Java 18. And you will find this is one of all the features that I'm speaking about, the pattern matching and the features. You can go through, read about it, and you can communicate with me through any channel to have your questions. And you can see this is the main features is out there. What is deprecation, bugs fixed, how do you do migration, everything about it. And what's the funny, and the people at Oracle, actually, when they are linking, you'll find another one here about the enhancement proposals, the most important features, and also a link about what is the hidden gems about the previous. If you go here, you will find this about JDK 16 and 17 as an API features the same journey what we have been doing now in this implementation. So just go through it and read it, and you are welcome at any time for any questions. Now I reach the end, and thank you very much for listening. I wish you a great day, guys, and literally I enjoyed delivering it. I hope you enjoyed it. If there is any questions, we still have like 3 minutes, so I'm happy that I finished on time.
Yeah, I believe, like always, you're always being really strict to the timing. So yeah, we have 3 minutes, but I see no questions actually. So while
People
I'm
just get
saying
done.
no, it's great if our participants still can reach out to you even after the conference. Some may want
Indeed.
to probably watch a video once again or later, so they may still get in touch with you if you can answer their questions. That would be great.
I'm always on Twitter, LinkedIn. Just search the name Mohamed Taman and you will find everything. And you are welcome. As always, we say we are from the community to the community.
Yeah, great. I see one. Thanks in the chat. So this is not a question, but thank you to you. So
No,
yeah,
thank you very
thank
much.
you once again.